Here we go. Let me change the scene and let's get to the meat. Okay, so here we go. Here is another video from the story behind the cheating revelations from Yosha chess. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Okay, let's go.
And welcome to this new video about the cheating.
Let me up the volume a little bit.
Cheating case of Hans Niemann, and in particular about the genesis and consequences of my previous video. I will explain how I got the data I presented and why the usual cheat detection systems did not find anything strange.
We're gonna watch Fabiano
then
after
we'll
this.
talk about the consequences of my video, and finally we'll talk about methods for cheating over the board. So I first
closed caption.
About,
Sorry, yeah.
Magnus versus Hans in this video, where I was in pure awe with Hans played, and I called him the new Bobby Fischer. It's a bit cliche, but
okay. So calls him. It's too fast. Okay, I'll go to normal speed. I thought maybe you want it faster, but so basically, the captions are shaky at best, shaky at best. But it's like yesterday we were covering one of the videos, and one of the great captions turned into Federer was convicted. Yeah, was Federer freed yet? I don't know. But one of the captions said Federer was convicted, which was hilarious. It's Yosha, I know. Yeah.
I was just so impressed because to outplay the world champion at positional chess is, well, almost unprecedented. But the day after, I saw Magnus tweet, and my first instinct was to give the world champion very high credibility in his unspoken accusations. So I tweeted that I felt disgusted and depressed. But then, a few days after, Hans gave his interview at the Sinquefield Cup, and I was deeply touched and moved by it. And I tweeted, if Hans Niemann is guilty and manages to give such an interview where every emotion rings true, he is a crazier and more brilliant villain than Moriarty and a better actor than Andrew Scott.
Oh man, shots fired. Wow. So Hans is also, Hans is like the greatest villain of all time, and he's also like the greatest actor too. Wow. Okay.
Greater villains than Moriarty are a better actor than Andrew Scott. So maybe there is actually. But then, so at that point, I was still in doubt, obviously, but if I had to take a bet 1 against 1, I would have bet for Hans' innocence. But then some stronger people than me started to tell me about this game about against Mishra, and yeah, let's say that
Fabiano,
I got more and more inclined.
I think Fabiano does an analysis, which we're gonna get to that later on as well. But yeah, we're doing this now. We're gonna get to Fabiano and Chirilla a little bit later on.
Towards Hans' guilt, and when Magnus spoke about Maxime Dlugy, I tweeted about him being a cheater because like everyone in the chess world knew about it, but if you were not in the chess world back then probably you didn't know. So I wanted the chess community to know about this cheating.
Let me go forward a little bit.
But the at Gambit Man 14 with the true unspoken hero of this story.
Yeah, so this is what Laird Gambit Man of Lithgowshire. That's in Scotland, right? That's like is that in Lithian? I think that's like in that area, right? I think that's where it is. I think I might have actually been there before, right? It's Lithia, yeah. Or Lothian, sorry, Lothian, that's right, Lothian. Yeah, not Lithuania, Lothian. Lothian is an area up in Scotland. Yeah, it's up in Scotland. Yeah.
And it was a link to data that Gambitman compiled. And basically...
Oh, wait, I haven't seen this. Wait, so wait a second. Let me turn on the closed captions. I haven't seen this, so let's see. What are the games that... okay, so I have limited games, but let's see. I have not seen this. So okay, so Centipede Loss, I'm gonna assume that for Hans is okay. So the first one must be his games from 2019 and 2021. So I'm assuming these are way outside. These are way outside the norm, is my guess. Let's see, what's it? 0 Centipede Loss. So it looks like everybody is somewhere around like 63, right? Looks like 62, 63s. Okay, Vichy Anand, by the way, look at Vichy, 65.87 here. So Vichy is a freaking boss, like a boss of the bosses. Is anyone else even close to Vichy? I mean, 65.29 for Hare Krishna. Ding Laurent. Oh, look at Ding, 68.20. Oh man, 68.23 for Ding, and Magnus Carlsen is 69. Very nice. 69.00. So basically, as I look at this chart, basically it's saying that essentially Fabiano is what, 65.9. So it looks like, okay, Magnus and Ding are like way ahead of everybody else at like 69. Vichy is what? Vichy is 65.87. Fabiano 65.90. That tracks. That makes sense. And then Aronia is 66.13. Looks right. And then is there anybody else up there? I mean, I guess I see Hare Krishna 65.29. But yeah, when I look through this list, again, I'm sure I can open this list. I don't want to right now because, of course, I'll leak my email, so I'm not gonna open this list to take a look. I don't think. But yeah. So it makes sense. Like Anand, like so, okay. So Magnus and Ding are the best by far. Vichy, Levon, Fabiano are the best of the rest, right? I mean, again, Faruja is 64.71, still very good, but okay. And then Hans is what, 65.84. So Hans is basically playing. Hans is playing better than everybody basically, except for Magnus and Ding, right? I can open it incognito. Okay, let me see. How do I do that? Let me see if I can. Wait, that's not what I meant to do. Someone give me the link. What's the link of the? What is the link? I'll try to open it. Where's the link? Let me see. Somebody have the link to this. It'll get crossed out, but I still want to. I still want to open it. It's not word.exe. Thank you. Okay, I guess nobody has it. Maybe my mods have it. I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is. Or actually, no, I got it. Or I think I got it. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, all right. Let's keep going with the video.
And it's every PgnSpy output.
Okay.
Since Hans Niemann.
I'm just gonna keep going forward.
Otherwise, it's at Gambitman maximum.
Wait, let's go back.
So
where am I? Wait, I'm somewhere in here, right? Where am I?
Comparison with Hans Niemann. So I just
okay. Where? Oh, I'm here. Nakamura HI. I'm 64.32. So okay, I'm pretty good too. I'm 64.32, which is good, but nothing crazy. Kramnik, ooh, 58.30. Ooh, Kramnik has that's surprisingly low for Kramnik. Surprisingly low. What is Wesley at? Wesley is 66.88. Okay, so Wesley also really, really good. Really, really good. Really good. So okay, let's keep going.
I did at the end average, minimum, and maximum, but otherwise it's
okay.
at Gambitman file. And you can see something strange. So T1 is the number of percentage of first move of the computer. T2 means a percentage of moves that are in the top 2 and top 3. And 0 is centipoint loss.
Oh my! So basically, he's just outperforming on every single one, isn't he? He's outperforming the average, and this is like 2,700 GMs, right? So like first ones, he's outperforming the average. Okay, not by a lot, but he is outperforming. He is outperforming. Okay, so he's outperforming. Second one, he's outperforming the average too. Third one, he's also okay. The average is pretty close on the third one. It doesn't seem crazy to me. Yeah, I mean the first one is higher, but it's still like 1% higher. That doesn't seem like anything major. Okay, 0 centipede loss. Okay, I mean the thing is, are all these above the average? So they all are, right? Okay, and centipede loss is below. Yeah, it looks like every single one is like, it's a little bit better. It's not out of this world better though. It's a little bit better, but it's not like crazy, is it? I mean, I don't understand the math, but okay. I don't know.
Superior to 0 centipoint loss.
Let me keep going forward though.
Is that even the first way?
I just want to see what she says.
He hasn't cheated, then he's a great player, so maybe it's possible. But back then, like between 2019 and 2021, he was ranked below or at 2500. So still very strange, but maybe not impossible. And also the other data looked quite normal. For instance, the centipede loss is above the mean. So actually, according to this this piece of data, is a worse player than the average 27. So it was strange, but I didn't know what to think about. And I asked Twitter, my favorite thing to do in life. Ask Twitter about
Ask Twitter.
things I don't understand. I'm not clever enough to understand. And basically, I got no answer except from @GambitMan. And my friend of mine and we also saw this tweet. So it was in response of Boris Savruk. And it was a link, if you have watched my video yesterday, it was a link to this data.
Yes.
And then we understood it, and so we discovered this let's check analysis tool that we didn't know about, and that basically no one knew about. By the way, someone very high at Chessbase and a top programmer told me that they never thought about using this let's check analysis tool as a anti-cheating method. So
interesting.
all credit goes to @GambitMan, because he's like the real hero of the story and a true pioneer. And he did, an amazing job. So we spent the night checking his analysis, and then once we
I am just chuffed that Hikaru's been to Scotland. Of course I've been to Scotland, you guys. Scotland is great. Edinburgh is one of my favorite places. I desperately want to go back sometime soon.
Convinced, of course, in accordance with my friend and with @GambitMan, I made the video to make the data public, because we understood that it was like a game changer. And so the video got a bit viral. A former 2800 told me that they could find only one game with 100% and one game above 90 at precisely 97%.
By the way, I'm going to be clear. When this is said, I'm going to be clear. I think that this is a reference. I think the person this is a reference to, I believe that this is Maxime. I'm just going to say it because I mean Yosha I believe is in France. The accent sounds French. So I think this is Maxime. I'm going to be clear. I think this is Maxime. It could be Anish, but I think it's Anish or Maxime, and I think it's Maxime. That's just what I'm going to say.
And otherwise, only plus 85% games. Since then, he discovered another game at 100%, but basically that's it. So it was nowhere near what Hans had. 10 100% games and 23 other 90 plus games in only 3 years. So yeah, it was pretty damaging. And also my friend did the analysis for iron irrigasis data since 2021, and basically she found 100 and one at 93.
Wow, this is crazy. This is some pretty deep stuff. Like, I don't know if the tool is necessarily legit, but this is pretty crazy when you look at this. Like, when you look at this, I mean, like, this is Arjun, and you see like nothing here. There's like 100 game, and apparently this was a very short game, by the way. This is apparently a 10-move game. So this is this is kind of crazy.
And that was it. No more game above 90. And also the game that Iron
he was already winning, right?
With a 100% correlation.
Yeah, he's just winning on like move 10.
Basically winning 10 moves, because, well, he was totally winning in 10 moves after a trap, an opening trap that he knew. So yeah, this 100% is easy to explain. Without anything related to cheating, of course. Iron is just a true genius. And so then Hikaru did his his stream, and he started to check many games, I think.
Now we get to the meat of it. Okay, now we get to the meat. Okay, what 2017 Gibraltar Masters. Okay, so Okay, so look. Okay, so I actually had. Oh no, I didn't. Cheparinov was better than me. Cheparinov was better than me. I think I won in 2017, but Cheparinov was much better than me. Okay, so I had a 94. But look at this. I've only got one game over 90. I mean, this is just one game over 90. That's it. In fact, let's look. Fabiano has 69, of course. One game over 90 for Fabiano. Maxime has no games over 90. I have one over 90. Does anybody else have 90s in here? I mean, these look at Topalov, like not even sniffing 90. 83 is his best. Wow, this is Zavagintsev has an 88, not bad. They're like, yeah, this is, I mean, like, again, the one thing is, like, you can say this is nonsense, but the numbers should correlate. The numbers should correlate, and they aren't correlating. That's the problem. They're not correlating. Like, the numbers should be similar to us. That's the thing. They should be. Like, Oparin, where's Oparin? Grigori Opar. Oh, he has a 97 in round 97 in round 5, but yeah, I mean, it should correlate. Be careful, you're gonna make Ben Feingold mad. I don't understand what you're saying, but yeah, I'm just looking at this, and you're not saying, like, everybody, like, it feels like a lot of people like one great game where you hit 90, but that's it. But when you're looking at all these players, I mean, look at these. I mean, these are legitimately the cream. I mean, I get these aren't the absolute elite, other than Fabiano, myself, and Maxime. I mean, Chuki. But look at Chuki. Chuki doesn't even have like a 90, and Chuki is one of the greatest like players to never be to never become world champion. Not even sniffing 90. Zavidler, another player, very perennial, like 27-30, 27-40 player, not even sniffing a 90. Like, this is, I mean, this, yeah. The 94, well, which, if you guys tell me this was round number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was round 8. I think 2017 was the year that I got up to fast. Don't tell me that was against David. Was that the game against David Howell? Was round 8 the game against David Howell, if I'm thinking of the right Gibraltar? You can tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. I don't know, but the numbers don't correlate. And this is an open term. Everybody, that was David Howell, that game. I was gonna say, I had a feeling it was that Ross Limo. Was it that Ross Limo game? It was, right? It was a Ross Limo game where I let it get in that stupid rook and pawn endgame, and then I messed it up and I didn't win because I let that stupid Vancouver nonsense happen. Yeah, of course. But I had the split pawns I should have won. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's not talk about that. Okay. So yeah, let's keep going.
About 15, I would guess. And he found one game in which he had a 100% correlation. And it was taken from the 2017 Gibraltar Masters that Hikaru
dominated.
It was his best tournament ever. And yeah,
to give you context, you guys, that tournament, I think I started out 7-0. I mean, I had this great win against Topalov, and then I played David Howell, and I messed it up. I played David Howell in round 8, and he played the silly Ross Limo, this bishop b5 nonsense. I just slowly outplayed him with black, got into a rook and pawn endgame. I think I was at 5 versus 4. I think I had D, E, F, G, H. He had F, G, H, G, F, E, I believe. Was it that, or was it, or did I have an outside pawn too? But anyway, it was a rook and pawn endgame. And yeah, whatever. Let's keep going.
This is what shows the data, Gambit Man's data. As you can see, he's a real nerd, much more than I am, and also a real anti-cheating. Sorry.
Oh, David was.
Genius.
Sorry. David was round 7. David was round 7. Yu Yangi was round 8. Yu Yangi was round. Actually, that game I don't remember. I remember the David game. I don't remember the Yu Yangi game. I don't actually remember that right off. What was the opening in that game? If somebody told me the opening, it probably pop into my head. But yeah. Anyway, okay. What was the opening as Yu Yangi? Oh, round 8 was David Anton Giaro. For round 7 was okay. Whatever. Let's keep going. Whatever.
Because he did. He checked the world tournament. I mean, every player rated above 2500 for the world tournament. And basically, he found that Hikaru played at 74%, which is very, very high. just to
and that's like my
to
best.
remind you.
Just to be clear, that's like my best. Like I started that tournament, I think I was 6-0 or 7-0. Like that was my best tournament. Like that was one of my best tournaments ever, just to be clear. And I'm still like, it's still 74. It's like not really actually all that good.
During his 20 winning consecutive streak, Bobby Fischer was on average at 72. So for one tournament, Hikaru played better than Bobby Fischer at his best. So yeah, congratulations Hikaru, it's amazing. And you might be wondering, but why we don't see...
I'm better than Bobby Fischer, you heard it here first.
Because it's his game, which Gambitman found back then at 89%. And you might be like, wait, it can change? And sometimes, rarely it can change, because let me explain how it works. When anyone uses chess-based cloud, they keep the 3 traces. So basically, if you check with a newer engine or in more depth, it will change one of the older trace. And so when you run a let's check analysis, it uses the 3 traces that it has in chess-based server. And yeah, so if the traces change, the let's check analysis can change a bit. And to be really totally open about the data that I presented, one game changed. It was the game against Mathieu Cornet. Like it used to be 100 and now it's something like 90%. I don't remember precisely, but it's not 100 anymore. The other 100 games are still at 100. So congratulations Hikaru, because one tournament at 74% is really impressive.
Wait, that's actually though, isn't that a problem if it can change? Isn't that a problem? I mean, it's still 90 to be fair. It's still outside we're outside the range, but isn't that kind of a slight issue if it can change? I was gonna say, however, like, well, I'll wait till later.
Just to remind you that Hans had 5 tournaments in a row with an average
5 tournaments in a row.
So like according
so like
to
this is the question. So okay, so wait, so I played Gibraltar. This is 2017. I played Gibraltar. The question is, what was my next tournament? Like, I don't know what my next, maybe it was like in Zurich, my next classical tournament after 2017. Like, I'm betting my next tournament I didn't play anywhere near that probably. So that's also kind of the point, I think, to this. I mean, I wish Yosha had actually taken a look. No, this is a different video that was made today, because like what that should mean is that like my next tournament is not going to be like 74. It's probably something like 68.
It's humanly impossible, yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if Magnus has it, though.
Streak. So I wanted to know if the probability of it happening without cheating, according to Kenneth Regan's data, is high. So I calculated this odd 1 in 77,000.
But was this? But
yeah, I made
this was calculated 177,000. But I think she went back and this changed, right?
Because it's not 5 or 6 tournaments in a row that I randomly picked, but it's taken. This strike is taken from 50 tournaments. So I made a mistake, and as I explained on Twitter, I haven't studied mathematics in college. And as soon as people pointed the mistake to me, I asked, okay, so but what is the solution? And let's just say it was much more complicated than I think it was, and much more complicated than many people think it was, because like I got many, yeah, but it's like the probability of having 6 heads in a row taken from 50 coin flips, and no.
That's very low, right? Very
I'm
low.
Stupid, and I'm bad at math, but I'm not that stupid, and I'm not that bad at math. So I explained that it's more like winning 6 all-in a row in poker. The first one, you have only 5.71%. Basically, like you have king 2 against king 2 unsuit against 2 kings, and you win, and then you win another all-in while you are a really underdog, and then another, and then another, and then another, and finally you win a slight underdog conflict. And yeah, it's almost impossible that this tracks happens from 50 hands. And so the solution was given actually because I asked many people that should know the stuff, but because it's complicated.
I mean, this is the only part of it that I'm a little bit skeptical of in a way. Is this part, but like the chess based part itself seems to me pretty convincing.
And it's this international master Nikos Theoris that you should definitely follow if you like opening theory, and he's the one that you want to follow. And he gave the answer, and basically instead of 1 in 77,000, it's more like,
you know, like I'll be honest, I suspect that this math is wrong, but you know, I don't really care about that part. What I want to see is someone go and take 6 tournaments in a row. Like you look at my best 6 tournaments in a row, or you look at Magnus 6 best tournaments in a row, whatever it might be. Use the top players, do that, and essentially that's how you'll know if you see their best 6 tournaments and it fits like in the same kind of way, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's how I look at it. Like I mean, I get that it's the whole odd stuff and all that other stuff, but frankly, just look at Magnus's 6 best tournaments in a row, look at my 6 best tournaments in a row, Ali Reza, whomever it might be, and then compare. That's what I would say. Well, sorry, but it's in a row, right? I think this is in a row. Look at our 6 best tournaments in a row. Like I'm trying to think what's my best streak, and I mean, I'm guessing it's like 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. That's my guess.
1 in 1,700, so it's much less likely, but still really unlikely. And I think it should have been a red flag from Kenneth Regan.
A wet flag, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, again, it's a complicated problem. I'm not a math expert, so if you know the true number and if the one I've just given is wrong, then please correct me. And just do it politely, please. I mean, not that I care, but it's always nice. Anyway, speaking of Kenneth Regan, before I did the video, I was reading about his algorithm, and I just thought about this really stupid thing that you can do to outsmart his algorithm. And basically, if you play at 2500 without cheating and at 2700 when cheating, then you can simply flip a coin before the game whether you will cheat or not. And just doing this, you will get uncaught by Kenneth Regan. I mean, you will get definitely caught by other methods, but not by...
Oh, holy. So basically what's being said here is that let's just say someone knows how to cheat in a tournament. It basically means you go to the tournament and you flip a coin and you're like, game 1, am I going to cheat? It comes up tails or whatever. You do it and you're right, you'll cheat game 1, you won't cheat game 2, you'll cheat game 3, or maybe you even just flip it for every game. Oh man. Yeah, I assume Ken Regan has to answer in some way to this sort of stuff.
Kenneth's algorithm. So I wasn't sure.
She's right.
Because, as I said, I know I'm stupid. So I asked Twitter, and yeah, people didn't know, but Kenneth wrote about this. And yeah, instead of arguing against Yosha's neural thread, I'm going to amplify and support it on Power Boost. And then basically it told that it was working and improved.
Kuribo Hadudala says, I'm working on my PhD probability. She's right. I mean, I don't know, like the only thing I can think of, again, I'm not a math guy, but like the thing that I think of is I think of like when you play rock paper scissors shoot. You play the rock paper scissors shoot against the New York Times bot. I mean, I don't know if it's still up, but it was up, and you play against it and it's like, maybe I think if you flip every time you'll be 50-50, right? But as humans we don't flip, you pick whatever, and eventually there is some pattern that shows up and you lose. That's the only thing that I can think of that I can think of that's comparable. Okay, so what's it say? I have 2 cheating inquiries in the past 4 days. Striking was not just grasping at this point. Thus, I deal with the reality of people playing 200 ELO and much more above their published ratings. As for Yoshi's point in this thread, let me just say the major online platforms have diverse components to their tests with more in development, and so do I. My components often begin as cross checks, but once the checks are assured, they can be turned around as new tests. See some of my other articles. Okay, so it's not actually anything specifically being said.
Version of his algorithm. So again, I don't want to blame Kenneth Regan. I mean, this professor is a pioneer and yeah, probably genius, and I mean, I don't understand 1/10 of his work, so I'm not going to criticize it. Just 2 points. The first one is it doesn't take into consideration the time spent per move, which is very valuable piece of information.
Yes, this is actually really important.
I think every cheating detection should take into account. And another problem about his algorithm is that everyone knows about it. It's the same for PgnSpy and average centipede loss. Like every smart cheater will try to outsmart these tools because they know about it. But no one knew about chess-based let's check analysis. So this
it's PgnSpy, yeah.
I think a clever cheater could get caught with it. But now that it is known, probably someone could outsmart it. To sum up, I think we got very lucky, I guess, sort of, this time, because first of all, Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, took an unprecedented decision and a very brave decision because he got trashed by half of the chess world. But if he didn't do what he did, then yeah, it could have gone on and on for months, maybe years. So thank you, Magnus, even though it must have been a very tough decision to make. Think you did the right one. And then we got very lucky that
all right, you guys, I mean, I think that's good enough generally for the video. There's probably more said, I mean, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean it seems like this is a big question, is like how legitimate is this tool as a whole. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what it says. Like all the statistical stuff, I don't really like. I get like the coin flip stuff. I really think the bottom line is, yeah, you can look into that, but just compare it to the top players. Compare it to the top players. And essentially what I would say is, like, just looking at this, what it seems to suggest is that Hans is playing better than is playing check the end after the Regan part. Oh, is there more to it? Is there more to it? I don't think there's more to it, but basically compared to the top players, and if Hans is outperforming the best players in the world, I mean, you basically end up in a situation where you have to decide, like, is Hans the greatest chess player of all time? Someone who did not really show glimpses of brilliance. It was in the high 2400s, suddenly becoming the absolute like best player of all time. Something just clicked randomly at the age of 17, or is something going on? That's sort of how I'm starting to look at it. It's like you have to decide. It's one of those two. It's one of those two things. There's a tweet for someone who compared it Magnus' 2020 games. Okay, what is this tweet? Let's pull it up. Okay, I analyzed every game of Magnus Carlsen. Okay, the classical chess tournament. Sorry, let me change the scene. Let's see, what do we have here? Again, I guess it doesn't show perfectly, but we have Magnus has what? He's got one 100% game against Mamedyarov, one game against Wojtaszek. He has 2 games at 91. So basically Hans is playing better than Magnus Carlsen. If we look at this tool, essentially, right? If we look at this tool, Hans is playing better than Magnus. I mean, Magnus, actually, look at this Olympiad. Magnus was playing like a god here, but it's still, even though these are really great numbers, 91, 85, 80, like these are really, really good numbers, but they pale in comparison to Hans' stuff. They pale in comparison. He has 2 100s, 2 91s, and Hans has what, 10 100s and like 23 90 games plus? I mean, if this is legitimate using this let's check tool, I mean, yeah. Not the same points raised. Again, I mean, you could say that, I guess. I mean, but if that's the argument, I don't know. Like, I'm just looking at this, like, I mean, look at this performance. Like, He plays an, this is great. World Championship, Magnus plays an 89, and it's still not even comparable. Not even comparable. Sample size significantly lower. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you can look at it that way, but to me, it's this is looking a little bit sus. This does look sus, for sure. I mean, I don't know how else I'm supposed to put it. Okay, so we have this bit. Yeah, this is, yeah, the average is 68,694, for example. Yeah, someone took sample size into consideration, and Hans still outperformed Magnus by 4x. Yeah, I mean, again, it's always possible. It's always possible. But I feel like what this is going to boil down to at the end of the day, assuming there's not some smoking gun, is if you look at these stats, you have to basically, you're going to have to reach a conclusion that Hans, whether it's in 2021, whether it's 2019 when he's at 2480, you're going to have to decide, you know, is Hans actually the greatest chess player of all time? I mean, did something just magically click at the very late age of 17, or is something going on? Because, you know, I've seen people talk about Ding Liren or other players who are other players who've had rises, but like even Ding Liren before he's 2700, I remember seeing Ding's games when he was like 15, 16. He had some of these like great crushing King's Indian games where he just blew people off the board. And like Ding was like, I saw these games and you're like, this kid is like really, really good. And there, you know, definitely have not seen that from Hans for sure. When he was like 2480, like he was a good blitz player, but there was nothing that was like no wow moments whatsoever. So yeah, that's, you know, that's I think what it's going to boil down to at the end of the day. But yeah, we'll see.